Hi, Tom here and welcome to this week's Circle Line Art School video, how to draw buildings in 3-point perspective, a view of Manhattan. In this imaginary drawing, I use a mechanical pencil and a 4B pencil for some extra shading. The first step in this 3-point perspective drawing is to draw a horizontal line towards the very top of your page. This is the height of the eye of the viewer. On this horizontal line, draw a cross on the far left hand side and then another one on the far right, and these will be our two vanishing points. Next we can draw a vertical line down the centre of the page. We could add a cross towards the base of this for the corner of our first building. Next, draw a diagonal line from the first vanishing point to this cross. Now draw another diagonal line from the second right-hand side vanishing point to the same cross in the centre of this line. These two diagonal lines will represent a road going left and another road going right. Now we can mark a point on this vertical line in the centre for the top height of our first building. Next, we need to draw a diagonal line from the left vanishing point and then another diagonal line from the right vanishing point going to this mark for the top of our building. Now we can draw another vertical line on the left of the centre line in the page, but this line is going to go to the third vanishing point, which is at the very bottom of the page, or slightly off the very bottom of the page, but in the middle of the drawing. We can draw another line on the right of this centre line, again going to this bottom third vanishing point at the very base of your drawing. Now, in this 3-point perspective drawing, we are actually looking in 3 different directions, and that's why it's got 3 points. The first vanishing point is when we're looking left. The second vanishing point is when we're looking towards the right. And then the third vanishing point is when we're looking right down towards the bottom of the page. So that's why we've got 3 vanishing points. That's why we need 3 vanishing points in this drawing. We can find the top sides of the building by drawing lines to the vanishing points on the horizon. So any top part of the building will go either to the left or to the right vanishing point. But for the vertical lines of this building and all the other buildings, they'll all go down to the bottom vanishing point, the third vanishing point, right at the base of the page or just below the base of the page. In this way we can draw the levels of the skyscraper as if we are high up and looking down at the building. Now, once we've got the first platform of this building, we can draw more diagonal lines to the left and right vanishing points for the base of the next section of the building. The base will be on top of the first part of the building, just a bit smaller, but as it comes upwards, it gets larger because it gets nearer our view. It gets nearer us, the person looking at the image. So in perspective, it's just a way of thinking about how things get smaller as they go away from us. So in this drawing, the top of the building will be larger than the base of the building, the absolute bottom of the building at ground level. Although it will be the bigger part of the building, is really far away from us, from where we're looking from, because we're looking downwards on a tall building. So the base of the building will in actual fact, in this drawing, seem quite small, and the top of the building, which should be the smaller part of the building in real life, because we're closer to it, it will seem larger. We can just keep repeating this process, building it up to get to the top of the skyscraper. Once you've got the basic structure of the first building, let's just darken the lines before we go any further. It's odd to think, but in 3-point perspective, when you're looking down on a building, the base of the building, which is the biggest part, will look the smallest because it's furthest away from us. And I guess the top of the building, which in reality would be the smallest part, will look larger because it's nearer our point of view. Once you've added a few details, if you want to the building, you could shade in the left-hand side of the first building, just make it really dark tone, and then it's time to draw the next building. Now for the second building, I'll put that on the right of the first building that we've drawn, and we'll draw it in exactly the same way as we drew the first building, using the 3 vanishing points as the place where all of our straight lines end up. You could use a ruler for this or just do it freehand, but all the lines, all the straight lines need to end up at one of the 3 vanishing points. So if you remember, when you're looking left, it goes to the left-hand vanishing point. When you're looking right at the building, it goes to the right vanishing point. And when you're looking straight down at the building, it goes to the 3rd vanishing point at the base of your paper. Once we've done this, because the drawing of the second building on the right, the left-hand side of the new building will be dark, and that will be next to the light part of the first building. So we'll get a nice contrast between light and dark. Now we've done the second building, let's do the third building, and that one we'll put on the left-hand side of our original building in the centre. So in this drawing, it's quite useful to think about when you're shading it in. If you just choose one side, I'm choosing the left-hand side, and everything on the left-hand side I'm going to shade in dark, and then everything on the right-hand side I'm just going to make the lines dark, but not shade anything in too much. Now for this third building on the right, again it's exactly the same process of using the 3 vanishing points. As we draw buildings further away from the centre in this drawing, they will just naturally become a little bit more distorted. Perspective will do that as you go further away from the centre of a drawing of perspective, once you go towards the edges. But this building on the left, I'm going to make it similar based on the Chrysler building in New York. So it's got those wonderful curved top shapes based on Art Deco ideas of car design. If we draw a rectangular block at the top of the building using the 3-point perspective, then within that rectangular block we can draw the curves for the top of the Chrysler building, and then give each of these curves a slight thickness, and then do other curves on top of it, thinking as I draw it about how we can add tone to it to make it nice and solid on the left and dark and lighter on the right. Now in this drawing, now we've got the first 3 buildings in this 3-point perspective drawing. I'll just speed it up a little bit and add some more buildings to the left and to the right. Seem to be a lot of buildings that I could fit on this drawing, so I think I'll put a rectangle on the left here as a sort of basic shape of Central Park in Manhattan. And then Central Park's got some lakes and things, but mainly it's trees from a distance. It looks like a lot of trees, so we can just indicate trees because they're going to be really far away and small. So again, I'll speed that up a little bit. And on this building on the left-hand side of Central Park, we can do some more buildings. Now again, they're going to be, because they're right at the edge of the drawing, they're going to be quite distorted. We're still going to use the bottom vanishing point, the 3rd vanishing point at the bottom, to find the vertical lines of these buildings. Now once we've drawn Central Park and we've got lots of trees, we could put some shading in that, and we could add some blocks of shading to all of the buildings as well. At the end of this drawing here, we can just put, by this pavement here, we could put some little dots, smaller than ants really, and they can be little indications of people and cars right at the very base of the buildings. And then we could put a mid-tone, something not light or dark, but something in the middle, a shaded tone for some shadows going to the left, because the light in this drawing is coming from the right-hand side and the shadows are on the left. The shadows of the buildings are on the left, and they're casting a shadow on the left-hand side as well. So I hope you enjoyed doing this drawing, having a challenge of drawing in 3-point perspective. There are many ways of drawing. Perspective is one of the interesting ways that you can draw, but there are many other ways too. Thank you very much for watching this video of mine. I post a new video on my YouTube channel, Circle Line Art School, please subscribe to it if you haven't already, and then you'll be updated with all my videos as they come out. I post a new video every Saturday. If you like this video, please share it and give it a thumbs up. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.